So let's get started. So we're actually gonna start coming down and lying on our mats. So just come on down onto the back, stretching out your legs in front of you, letting the ground cradle your weight. Just feels nice to lie down on your back after work or after running around. Just a really nice release for the back and the hips. So feeling yourself sinking down into the mat, a familiar place for all of you, a place that you've dedicated quite a bit of time to, the mat and practice of yoga. And so let that mat, just be as a friend to you and to kind of absorb any stresses or any aggravations or any sadness that you've experienced today. Let the mat absorb that as you feel your body sink down and relax. We'll take 3 nice deep breaths to cleanse our bodies and our souls and our minds of whatever happened today, and to get us right into the space here where we can just focus on ourselves and let our minds be clear and at peace. So inhaling, you can feel your inhale going all the way down to your belly. Maybe you even feel it down in your hips and your feet. And then on the exhale, relaxing everything, feeling your body sink down into the mat. Inhaling again through your nose. And you can exhale this time through your mouth, making that ha sound as you feel all of the stress, all the worries, all the running around like crazy today, all of that just leaving, letting go of that. And then we'll take 1 more deep breath. When you get to the top, just hold it there for 1 and 2, and then let it all go in that ha. Good, and so now we've made that transition to this peaceful space for us. All of us here together, supporting each other. So we're going to go into a twist first of all. So bringing your feet up, your soles onto the floor, knees are bent. This is going to be a really easy twist. First of all though, scoot your feet out wider. So maybe they're like at the very edges of your mat so that your knees are quite wide. And then inhaling. And on the exhaling, letting your knees just fall over to the left. So they're just almost like that windshield wiper motion. They're just falling over into a very, very easy, relaxed, chill twist right now. There's Selena. So just breathing here and feeling the space in the right side of your body as your legs are twisted over to the left. So we're just in this really easy twist right now. Knees are falling over to the left side of your mat. And now what you're going to do, so your left leg should be out in, kind of sticking out to the side of your left, your mat. And then look down and see what your right leg is doing. So the right leg should be coming straight out of your hip. So make sure that the knee and the hip are aligned so you can scooch that right foot back a bit. So then we're going to go into a quad stretch actually. So we're going to take that right foot and just move it, shimmy it over, move it towards your bum. So you should start feeling this really nice stretch in the front of your right quad and right hip. Hope you got that, Selena. So just to backtrack a little bit for you. Yeah, you're good? Okay. Awesome. So good, so the legs should be apart. Yeah, awesome, you guys got it. Should feel good. Nice, and then, so if you want now to take that stretch to the right quad, you can take your right hand to your right foot and just shimmy the right foot into near or towards the right buttock. Buttock. Oh, that was awesome. And then you should feel that beautiful stretch on the right side. Checking in with your knee, just to make sure that's okay on your right knee. And then just breathing let's take another 2 deep breaths here. Feeling that release in the right side of our hip and our quad, nice. And then after that second deep breath, as you exhale, you can move your knees back into neutral. So your soles of your feet are on the ground and they're just wide. So you have a really wide stance right now. So your knees are quite wide. Soles of the feet will almost be off of the mat. They're pretty much on the side of your mat, on either side of your mat. And so now let's move that to the other side. So letting your knees drop now to the right. So first just letting them drop naturally to the right. Good, just taking a moment there to feel into that stretch already. You're gonna feel a little something on the right side. And then if you wanna intensify it or make it more of a quad stretch, check down with that left hip and knee and line them up. So you'll do that by scooting the right foot back a little bit to the left. Good, and when that's in line, you should feel even more of a stretch on the right side of the hip. And then if you want to get into the quad even more, take that right foot and kind of guide it with your hand towards your bum. It's not a smooth thing, you're kind of just like shimmying it up. Nice, and just check in with your knee to see that that's okay here. You should feel a nice stretch on your right quad. Good, and the right hip even. Nice, it should feel really relaxing too. Making sure the knee is okay. If you're not feeling it in your quad, you can move your hip back, your foot back even closer to your bum. And let's just take one more deep breath here. Feeling that left quad release. And then moving your way back up to neutral. Soles of the feet are on the floor, knees are bent. Maybe just shimmy to get yourself back into kind of a straight line. And then you can take your knees and just hug them into your chest. Oh, that should feel good on the lower back. And you can just rock from side to side if that feels good. I like to get a little bit of a rock going on. You can feel a little bit of a massage in your lower back. Good. And then letting your left sole come down to the floor again. And taking your right ankle over your left knee. We're going to do a figure 4 position. So this is kind of like pigeon on your back. So once you have your ankle over top of your knee, just go ahead and if that's good, you can leave it just like that. So if that's enough of a stretch on your right hip, you can just leave it like that. If you want to intensify it, grab the back of your left thigh and start bringing your left thigh, or your left knee, I should say, in towards your chest. So you're really feeling a big release on the right side, the right hip and the right butt. And then you can of, you can move that knee around a bit if you want to get into different areas of the right side of the hip and glute. And so just make this, you can also just hold it still if you like. Always remember to breathe in deeply. And exhaling, release. And then releasing your hands from behind your thigh, we are now just going to let this whole situation flop over slowly, if you can, flop over to the left. So just kind of moving everything down over to the left. And you should feel a really good stretch in your right glute and right hip, and maybe some to your IT band as well. Again, checking in with your knees to make sure everything feels good. Yeah, then breathing in to this pose. Feeling the release on the right side. We hold so much in our hips. One more deep breath here. Hands can be splayed out to the side. Arms are just kind of however you want them. And then on the exhale, you can move right back up into neutral. So just bringing the soles of the feet to the floor again. Knees are bent. And then we'll do that on the other side. So left knee on top of left ankle on top of right knee. And then just check in to see how that feels right there. And you can even take your left hand to your left knee and just push on your knee a little bit. Give it a little bit of pressure and just feel how that feels. Good. Is that a good enough stretch already? Or do you want to go deeper and take the right knee towards the chest? Whew. Well, that side usually isn't as sore for me. And then rock back and forth, or kind of like in a little bit of a circle if you want. Just getting into all the different little tiny spots, whatever feels the best in your hip and glute on the left side. And when you breathe, imagine that breath going all the way down into the left hip. And as you release, imagine the left hip releasing even further. And then take all of that, release the hands from behind the legs, flop the hands out into like kind of a T or whatever you like, and then engage your core, and then drop the situation over to the right. Drop your legs over to the right. Then you can look to your left if you want to increase that stretch, and then breathing here. Good, that should feel really nice. Nice deep stretch in the left glute. And you can always take your right hand to the left foot, and you're almost kind of drawing the foot towards you a little bit more if you want to increase the stretch. Checking in to see if your mind has wandered, thinking about what happened today and all the things you need to do after class. That's okay. Just let it go. Watch the thoughts float up and disappear just for a moment. And then you can release that side. And we're going to slowly make our way up to hands and knees. So however you want to get there, just kind of maybe coming up to a seated first, and then moving over onto all fours. Good, we're just gonna do some hip circles here. And we've definitely done this before because it's one of my favorite things. So to start, you push your hips out to the right as far as you can, and then letting them sink back almost into child's pose, and then coming over to the left, pushing to the left, and then all the way back up. And go ahead and do that at your own pace and whatever feels good for you. Think though of really pushing your hips out to whatever side you're at. So if you're on the right side, just think of really pushing them to the right and then to the back. Exhale, and then to the left. Good, and then just going at your own pace and whatever feels good. If you find a spot that feels really juicy, you can stay there and breathe into it. And then if you want, you can reverse your circle now, starting with the left, back, and then to the right, and forward. Should be inhaling when you're forward and exhaling as you push back. We'll do this 2 more times. Good. And then when you're ready, you can come to neutral. Actually, let's just walk the hands out a little bit farther, so just a tiny bit. We're gonna push back into puppy pose. So this is just gonna get into the shoulders. Letting your chest, letting your forehead sink down towards the mat. Checking in to make sure there's no tension in your neck. If there is, just come out of it a little bit. Oh yeah, it looks fabulous, Vero. Breathing into this deep stretch for your shoulders, your armpits, even your chest. One more breath here, sinking farther down. Good, and then coming up, let's get into a cat. So just to kind of release the neck from any tension that accumulated there. Good, yeah. Just push into the mat, rounding your spine, really getting into that upper back. Awesome. And then when you're ready, coming on down to your belly. And we're gonna do 3 baby cobras to open up our chest as well as strengthen the upper back. So this is really good if you feel like, you know, you could use some help with your posture if you're kind of hunching when you're working with kids or when you're on the computer or when you're just, you know, at work every day doing stuff. Often we don't think about our posture. So bringing the hands to the chest, or right next to the chest is what I meant, yeah. And then on the inhale, you can open up into a baby cobra, feeling your back shoulder blades pinching together, looking up, opening up, and exhaling, going head to the mat. So we'll just flow through that 3 more times. So on the inhale, you're opening up into a small baby cobra, feeling your back working for you, and on the exhale, down to the mat. Forehead touches to the mat just briefly. You can even take your hands off of the ground and hover them on the mat to see if you can get your upper back to do most of the work. Toenails are pressing into the mat. Tail is tucked. Inhaling, opening up. Okay, I tried that and I can't go very far. That's okay. And then forward. Head to the mat. One more time. Inhale, opening up, strengthening those back muscles, opening the chest, and exhale, forward fold, head to mat. Take your hands and just place them down by your side for a second. If it feels good for your forehead to be on the mat, keep it like that. If not, you can turn your head to the side just with your cheek on the mat, okay? We're just taking us a moment right now to let all of that sink in. Relax your shoulders. Feeling the mat against your forehead. Letting thoughts go. Just feeling your body. Awesome. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna come back up to all fours for a second. We're just actually we're gonna move into a downward dog, just very slowly and at your own pace. So tucking your toes under, bringing your hands a couple inches out on the mat, and then when you are ready, exhaling, tail comes to the ceiling. Good, and you're pushing your hands into the mat, straight back, straight spine, pedaling through the heels if it feels good. Awesome. All right, knees can come back down to the mat. We're gonna take the right foot and bring it up on the outside of the right hand. We're going into lizard pose. Nice, so your right foot is on the outside of your right hand. Awesome, so we're gonna get into the right hip a little bit here. So breathing into the right hip. Good. Looks great. Checking in with your shoulders to make sure that they haven't accumulated any tension. And then if you like just moving around here a little bit, you can rock to the side, back and forth. Getting into the right groin and the left hip flexor here. Making sure that your shoulders are relaxed too and that they're not taking on any of the tension in this pose. And then if you want to do the quad stretch with this one, you can take your right foot and start to bring it up to your left foot, and start to bring it up towards your glute. Yeah, that looks good. And then you can just stay there if you want, or if you do want to increase the stretch in the quad on the left, you can take your right hand and grab your left foot and just kind of help it to get towards your bum. Yeah, and some of us just have the anatomy that this pose isn't really appropriate for us. So not all poses will be all appropriate for all anatomy. Awesome, and then when you're ready, you can let that foot go. So straighten out the left leg. Yeah, good. And then we're going to move back into a downward dog or a child's pose. You can choose what you want to do right here, okay? So if you want to do the downward dog, just take your right foot, tuck your left toes first, and then take your right foot back to meet your left into a downward dog. Awesome. Or into a child's pose if you feel like you need something more restful tonight. In the downward dog, I want you to make sure that your head is totally released. So relax your head, shake it right, shake it left, no and yes. Just making sure you're not holding any tension there. And then I want you to bend your knees a little bit and try to straighten your arms even more, lifting the butt to the ceiling. Yeah, bending into the knees a little bit more. Good. from here, we're going to take our left foot and bring it outside of our left hand to go into lizard on the other side. And it might take a couple of moves to get there. And then once you're there, getting situated, making sure your right knee has enough padding. Maybe you need a blanket underneath your right knee back there. I don't want any discomfort in the knees. So first of all, kind of rocking around if you like. I like rocking back and forth. And it just kind of helps me to get deeper into the left hip now, left groin. Checking with your shoulders again, making sure that they haven't tensed up. Good, and then if this next part is for you, come along with me and bend your right knee, bringing the right foot closer to the bottom. Nice. And you might feel that stretch there and you just leave it there, or you might want to grab your right foot with your left hand. Breathing into whatever option you've chosen for yourself. Nice. Everybody's at different stages, as they should be. We all have different bodies. All of us have had different days. And then releasing your right foot back down to the ground. We are going to go back into downward dog now again if you want to try that, or you can go into child's pose and just rest there. So tucking your right foot and then shooting that left foot to meet the right, and you're back into downward dog. You want to yearn the insides of your arms towards each other, bending the knees a little bit if you need to. Good. Vera, what would happen if you bent your knees a lot? Would your feet go flat to the floor? Good, breathing here. And then let's go back into child's pose now. Just coming down onto the mat, sinking back down. You can bring your arms down by your legs for more relaxing. Letting your shoulders go. Forehead is on the earth. Breathing here. And sometimes with the stillness, your mind wants to wander again. That's just our minds. They're wanting to keep us safe. Just tell your mind you're safe, you're okay. Be at ease. Let's do 3 more breaths in child's pose. And when you're ready, coming on up, we're getting ready to come into Shavasana, but before that, I wanted us to, if anybody wants to join me in boat pose, so we can work on our balance and our abs, our core for a bit. If not, you could go down into Shavasana earlier, or you could just do any pose or any stretch that your body feels like it needs right now. So yogi's choice. Let's see here. So yeah, oh yeah, Vero's getting ready for, oh, I thought Vero was gonna get ready for boat. Okay, so for boat or Navasana, which it sounds like Shavasana, but Navasana, come to seated with your feet on the ground, knees bent. So just setting up right now for boat. And then you can choose what you want to do. First of all, let's engage the core. We're gonna do 3 of these for 5 breaths each. That will be our goal. Or just do 1 if you like, and then do the other poses that you want. So sitting up, keeping your chest open. So maybe just have your hands float right now by you and see if you can keep your core engaged and your chest up like this. Okay, if you can, and that's okay for you, then start with one leg coming up and then the other one if you like. Awesome. Okay, so let's breathe here. That's 2 breaths. That's 3. I'm already shaking. That's 4. Okay, 1 more, you guys. And 5. Okay, come to cross-legged if you like, just for a little break. Oh man, that's been a long time actually since I've done a boat. Okay, we got to get back to the boats. So just take a mini rest here. And then we'll do our second one. After this, we'll go into Shavasana right away. So setting up for the second boat. I'm actually going to keep my hands behind my legs this time because I just felt like my lower back was doing a lot of the work there for me. That just shows me my core is weak as my lower back takes over. So engaging your core, lifting your chest, making sure your spine is straight and tall, and then up with the feet if you like. And I'm going to keep my hands clasped behind the back of my thighs. Good, and we'll do 1 breath. Ooh, looking good, Selena. 2 breaths. 3. Looks great, Vero. Keep it up. 4. Yes, we're shaking. And 5. Woo! Nice. Take a little rest. I know you're doing amazing too, Diana. I just can't see you, but I see your face. Good. We'll do 1 more set if everybody's ready. Again, take whatever pose you would like if you want to opt out of this last set of Nivasana. All right, so again, setting up, just making sure that your core is engaged, and then opening your chest, and then the legs can come off. I'm going to clasp my hands again. Good. Awesome. 1 and 2. You guys look incredible. 3. Try to breathe. I'm trying as well. 4. Shaking. 1 more. And 5. Woo! Nice job. Yes. Great. Good. I like what Juanita's doing. So your legs come out in front of you and you just kind of wiggle your feet back and forth to release all of that. And we will make our way down to Shavasana, final resting pose. So coming down, just getting comfortable, wiggling around until you feel the best Shavasana for you. Taking a few breaths to settle in here. Good. And just reminding yourself that you did such a good job tonight. You took time from your busy schedule to nurture yourself. And just letting all of that work now come on into your body and take and settle there in your bones and your muscles, your connective tissue. Let it all settle. Now I'll just have you relax, sinking into the mat once again. Just the way we started off class, actually. Coming all the way around, full circle. We are home from our journey. Now just letting your body rest and relax and recover. Letting your thoughts go once again. Taking one last moment to quiet your mind. And you can lay here in Shavasana for a couple more minutes. The video will end soon. If you have some more time, rest in Shavasana. If you need to come out now and go about your day or your evening, just rolling on to one side or the other, and slowly propping yourself back up into a seated position. And when you get there, bringing your hands to your heart, and thanking yourself for this practice, thanking each other for being here, and then bowing, namaste. Namaste yogis. Thank you so much for joining me in this class. I hope you have a wonderful evening or day, whatever time it is there. Until next time, bye.